Well, of course, now we pivot.
Two.
Our good friend, a newsman extraordinaire.
Yes.
So thrilled to have him on here, by the way. Tell Michael Freeze good morning.
Hey, Michael Freeze, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you doing this fine Monday morning?
It's not just any Monday, it's the Monday of Antida.
By the way, Michael Freeze, if you guys don't already know this, is the Transport Topics features editor, and he is a regular, reoccurring guest. He's also an original member of the reconstituted Road Gang. He's a veteran of trade publishing. He's worked in logistics, automotive aftermarket, agriculture, and finance. And by the way, we won't talk about sports, given what happened to the Saints and the Steelers yesterday. We might talk about the stock market at some point, probably not today. Professional wrestling, given the state of the economy, that might actually be really appropriate. He has done news reporting as well as public relations. Born in Pittsburgh, raised in Canton, Ohio. He's a veteran of the U.S. Navy. Thank you for your service. And lives in Alexandria with his lovely wife and son. As always, Michael, it's good to have you. I still have high hopes for your Steelers. I still think that as Rodgers kind of acclimates himself, they're going to be in much better shape than they've been in the last couple of years. I actually, despite the mistakes and travails, I do think they're better built for the playoffs that they will make. That's my take. I'll leave it at that for you, Michael. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm coping. Yesterday was a bad day, but the sun rises, and so do I. So I'll be all right.
Well, did you see the sunrise in Raleigh, North Carolina, or in Alexandria?
Well, Raleigh, yeah, I'm here in Raleigh. Yes,
Yeah.
that is correct, Dave. For the Technology and Maintenance Council's, 2025 fall meeting, which features the TMCSuperTech, which brings brings a good amount of the best of the technicians in the trucking industry. So you're having, they're from all over. They're, from FedEx, Old Dominion. Some are from Travel Centers of America. Cox Automotive. I mean, there's plenty of technicians to go around, but we are in the second day of the competition. The first day was a lot of the hands-on event where the field got whittled down to, I believe, 85. So today, as we were speaking, they're going through the written test of the competition. So we will crown a winner tomorrow night. So that will be in the pages of Transport Topics. So stay tuned then. So, but other than that, it's just I'm just going around talking to techs. Getting the feel of the competition. In my line of work, this is the closest thing that I get to covering a sporting event. So this is going to be a fun time this week.
When I went to my first Super Tech with TMC, I came up with a 2-word description, and Robert Braswell actually liked it, so I figured, well, it's pretty accurate. Quiet intensity. Quiet intensity is what I got, because you have all of these trucks and trailers, and some of the engines are running, some of them aren't. But you don't hear anybody talking. All you hear is a few clinking of a few tools here and there. Quiet intensity. I mean, I've never seen anybody, a room, a big arena like this, filled with people who were so quiet and working.
Yes,
there was no nonsense. Yeah.
Dave, I'm glad you said that, and that is a great description of this conference and this competition. Quiet intensity. It's the whole thing of it. I mean, you guys are in Nashville this spring during the TMC annual meeting, and it's just the usual hustle and bustle of that convention floor, and just people moving around. Where you have the fall meeting with the TMC SuperTech competition, you can hear a mouse, chit chat. I mean, it's definitely a quietness of it, and it's definitely an aura of focus and intensity, as you're saying, and these young men. Some of them, I mean, probably a little more than young, but these men and women that are performing in this competition. I mean, you really catch that quiet intensity, because I mean that's what it is. I mean, and when you go into that convention floor, which is the competition floor, you hear that quietness, you hear that focusedness, and that's something to be had, because these guys, we're always, we're talking about the drivers. The drivers are very important as well, but to get that tractor running, to get that trailer working efficiently, you need technicians. And here, this week, to celebrate the work that these technicians do, and to honor that in this competition, that's something that should be in the foreminds of all the drivers and everyone in the trucking industry, because these are the guys that literally make things go, make things work.
Are there, you said guys first, and then you kind of corrected and said, oh, and women. And I don't fault you for that, because if you take a glance at the floor or a glance at the roster, it's going to be a bunch of guys. What about women, though? Are there any women in the competition this year?
Yes. There have been a handful. I believe one from Cox Automotive. She did make the cut. So she is currently performing right now. There's definitely women that are placing. I believe one had placed not last year, but the year before. I think last year as well. But in station categories, I think there was a winner. The name escapes me, and I'm very sorry for that. But I believe she was from FedEx, and she had won, I think, the third overall prize, if I'm correct, back in 2023. So, the presence of women in the competition is definitely a growing presence.
Yeah, slowly but growing, which is, you take it as you will. I got to say that we had Mark Colson on. I don't know if you know Mark. He heads up the Alabama Trucking Association. And they have a new initiative there it's a website called mytruckingfuture.com. And Mikale, I got to tell you that I was so impressed with this. This looks like a big Hollywood production. I got to tell you, it was videos of drivers, young drivers, talking about what they wanted in life, what they wanted out of trucking, why they got into trucking. And I was telling Mark that when I got into trucking radio back in the early 70s, it's the exact same thing mostly guys were telling me back in those days. It's the same stuff. People haven't changed. Their desires and their hopes for their trucking careers are the same as they ever were. Do you when you talk to the people, let's say the younger people and the older people who are in the competition, do you see any coming to? In other words, are there generational barriers and differences still, or is everybody kind of moving together to the same team, so to speak? If that makes sense.
No, Dave, it does make sense. I mean, if you had asked me this question maybe 5 years ago, I probably would have said the former. It was just sort of that, I mean, and 5 years ago, we were talking about, EVs and having that infrastructure built and the concerns around there and just kind of the whole positioning of, you being, pro EV or you just want to stick with diesel, and through some technicians that I've spoken to, it was a lot of that. There was a lot of this is a new thing. What's wrong with diesel? Diesel's been fine, and why are you pushing this? Whoever that they are, whoever they are pushing this on us. I mean, you had some of those factions, with that. But now, fast forward to 2025, I think there's a collective reasoning in the sense that you're, this is something that's coming, whether you like it or not. Depending on how the regulations are, this is something that will be here in the future. Maybe not near future, but I mean, it's something that's going to be here, and there need to be recommended practices in place to properly perform preventive maintenance and repairs on this new equipment. So I mean, it's we all know the train is coming. So I think we're closer to the latter than now than we were before.
And we are starting week number 2 of NACV's Run On Less Messy Middle to that point, coming to where we can make some sense out of all of this stuff and make some decisions, because decision time is coming in terms of reevaluation of what we've been using for power. How are we going to mold that into the future needs? So how long are you going to be in Raleigh? You going to be there for the festivities?
Oh, yes, I will be. Yes, I will be. Yeah, after the competition, there's always the very informative technical sessions that are going on. For one, that I'll be going into later on the Wednesday and Thursday track of things. There's the just next, when you talk about next generation tractor trailer connectors, just sort of what do fleet technicians want out of that. And it's just sort of kind of having that shop talk, just sort of, having that, the feedback on, connector design preferences and things like that, just the real minutia of auto technology. And so I'll be covering those things as well. There's many subjects such as, proactive corrosion protection, tire road services. There's even an update on just the regulations of EVs and alternative fuels and where the industry goes from that point. So there's a lot to take in after the SuperTech, which takes most of the time these first 2 days, today and Tuesday. So there's a lot of learning that's going on, through the competition and through sitting in the session. So my plate's definitely going to be full on that Wednesday going forward.
Yeah, and that full plate, when you made the comment about the closest thing to a sporting event, there really is a sense of a championship game going on over there, because you're not just covering the event itself, but you're covering all the satellite sort of things going on around it. The breakout sessions. It is a combination of competition and conference in many ways. And so I don't envy you having to keep all of that straight from an editor standpoint. You're not just a reporter covering the story. You've got to figure out where all the stories are and then kind of collate and organize them. We're going to get you back on sooner rather than later, Mikale, to give you a chance to kind of do that. What's the week looking like for you? I mean, once this is over with, where do you go back to? What's next?
Well, we're going to go to from here, it's back to the DC office where we're working on the production of the new Calibrate. We're going to be talking about roadside service and just the safety involved with technicians when they repair on site, which is usually on the side of a highway, and just kind of keeping those safety considerations, keeping those technicians safe when they're working on the truck. So we're gonna have a feature on that, and of course, we're going to talk to Mr. Braswell from the TMC and get his thoughts on what will be the end of the TMC fall and get his thoughts on that. So we're definitely preparing for some new stuff coming from Calibrate this fourth quarter. So that's on the agenda.
I love having a guy on the show so long that he actually knows when I ask him what seems to be a broad question. He knows I'm actually referring to Calibrate, what's coming up next. Mikale Freeze is a veteran for his country. He's also a veteran of trade publishing. He joins us on a regular basis. He is also one of the original members of the reconstituted Road Gang. Mikale, thank you so much, and go Steelers.
Oh, yes. Go Saints. Go Saints, too, as well.
You see? That's what we're talking about, folks. That's how you do it.